Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 bot AI cast. We have got ourselves what should be a good one here today, as it's going to be Caninana, the monster Zerg, going to be taking on Zozo, one of the Protoss bots that's doing pretty darn well for itself these days. Decently high up on the ladder and still being updated. So we're going to see how well it's going to do against Caninana today. The Zerg bot, I believe, probably the favorite in this one, but you never know what the bot authors have been cooking up or tweaking with their bots. And so, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and click that like button. If we can hit 51 likes on this video, that would be amazing. Leave a comment down below saying more bots if you want to see more of these bot matches. We've got a little bit of a cheeky pylon getting tossed down by Zozo. Caninana does react to it very heavy-handedly, pulling 8 drones, or not 8, apparently I can't count, 7 drones off the line to deal with that pylon, cancels it. That's quite a big reaction from the Zerg, so that's going to slow it down a little bit. Which I'll say is significant because Caninana already slows itself down a little bit by going for that early spawning pool. So a cool opening from Zozo. Can't criticize Caninana for that too much because it is a bot that always takes the safe approach and sort of sacrifices a little bit of economy just to make sure that it's safe in the grand scheme of things. So I don't mind that at all. Preventing any cannon rush from getting down. We've got Zozo going for a Nexus, and then just a single gateway with a wall on top of the ramp, which I don't think is too bad here, as Caninana is a bot that tends to not go for super early aggression or anything like that. And so Zozo should be able to get away with this and actually have quite a nice economic position. And then we'll just have to wait and see whatever tech it goes up to now. Zozo's got a few probes just hanging out. I suppose they're waiting for that Nexus at the natural to finish up before they go to work there. We've got a Stalker now being chrono boosted out for Zozo. Zozo, I feel like I'm gonna go crazy saying its name again and again, but the blue Protoss bot is known for going for lots of Stalker gateway aggression, and that doesn't always work out because trying to kill Zergs that can make Zerglings with units like Stalkers that aren't the best against Zerglings is always a tall order. We'll see. Maybe Zozo can make some magic happen this game. Maybe the bot authors change things up a little bit. Who knows? We do have a Robo on the way behind this. Second Stalker on the way out too. And then still just macroing away. I mean, take a look at the worker count. Right now it's 28 to 23. So Caninana definitely down on the economy a little bit. Not that it's unusual for Protoss to have a slight worker lead for a bit, but I feel like this is a little bit more than usual. A third base is going up for the Zerg, but so just give it a couple minutes and Caninana will be shooting up in that worker count. Zozo, though, maybe trying to do something about that, as it does already have a third and a fourth Stalker on the way. Caninana's constantly testing the waters and scouting out. But so far, yeah, just more Stalkers being produced by Zozo. I think Zozo is going to be going for what it is known for the most. And that is just these standard Stalker pushes. There is a probe that was moving out. Not sure if that was just scouting or for a third base. There's a third now going up for the Protoss bot. So still maintaining a strong economy. Caninana is making quite a few lings, getting ready for some kind of attack. We'll see if the Protoss bot is actually going to go for that or not. This probe is just moving around, scouting out, it seems, which is cool to see. So really, I think the best thing that Zozo could do right now is to not attack right away anyway. And we'll see if that's the case or not, because look at it. It's got 40 workers to 29. Caninana is like, all right, I'm ready. I'm ready. Bring those Stalkers, bro. And we'll see if Zozo actually obliges or not. The longer Zozo waits, the better this will be for it, as it's got a really strong economy compared to its opponent. It actually gets supply blocked a little bit there. There's a pylon building. Not often you see bots get supply blocked, but Zozo has been supply blocked. More Stalkers are being produced. There is a Prism on the way, which does make me a little bit concerned, because it means Zozo may be going out for that attack that's destined to fail. It's kind of like Lord of the Rings trying to retake Osgiliath. It's just not going to happen. And these Stalkers are just contemplating their fates right now. Now, Caninana is going into some roaches, it seems, based on that chat tag. It's got a very healthy ling count. That did set it behind in the economy a little bit, though, still only on 40 drones. But now it's feeling confident enough to fire out some more. The Protoss bot is still just chilling out, but now that Prism's done, Zozo is gonna go, and there's actually a 4th base on the way for the Protoss, which is kind of nutty. Zozo just playing incredibly greedy. I'm a big fan of this greed. And the Protoss bot just firing out more Stalkers, standard just gateways making units. No warp gate researched whatsoever. No attack upgrade started despite a forge being built, which is a little odd. And Zozo delayed its attack a bit, but it is going to give it the good old college try. There's 65 lings against 12 Stalkers. The Stalkers do start the engagement with a bit of a choke point, but then they fan out, and that doesn't exactly work out the best against mass lings. So Caninana is just going to catch all these Stalkers. Oh, man. If you're the bot author of Zozo, please mix in a few zealots or something when in your PvZ. Stalkers are doing what they can. The lings for Caninana are surging forward. Probes are now being pulled off the line, and there is a battery to support them. We'll see if there's going to be a battery overcharge or not. There is. That's going to keep these units alive. So the probes are actually probably as effective as the Stalkers against the lings with the battery to support them. That battery is really worth its weight in gold, as the defender is doing a little bit better than when it was on the attacking side, but Zozo still seriously lacks a bit of muscle here. Looks like barely any workers died thanks to that battery. 6 workers, so 10 Stalkers died for 80 lings. So as soon as that fight turns into a defense, it's not too bad for the Protoss bot. And so, yeah, that wasn't terrible. My concern is, though, as soon as Zozo moves out to attack once more, Caninana is going to be like, lings and things. Now, we've got about 9 Stalkers moving out on the map and Immortals crossing the map. Caninana still just pumping out lings. The ling count was whittled down by that big attack, so it's only 40 lings this time. However, there's queens there to support. The Prism's going to micro as well as it can. We don't really have any Protoss reinforcements crossing the map, and now we're seeing those Stalkers. They're getting juggled back, and Immortal comes forward to help out. If Zozo's going to have any success at this point, I think it is just going to be by constantly trading out while the ling numbers are relatively smaller. As I say that, though, there's still plenty of lings for each Protoss unit. More and more Stalkers going to go down. Even the Immortal's going to get killed. Don't make Immortals against lings, kids. It's just not a good idea. We've got more Stalkers being produced as Zozo is just doing Zozo things. Chrono boosting those out thanks to its 4 Nexi. It's got, let's see, I mean, Caninana says it's got an observer, and it does. Thanks for letting me know that, Caninana. Zozo's going to try and go for another attack. It does have an army supply lead, but as far as army efficiency goes, it is still just lings for Caninana to defend this. Now, it looks like some of those lings are going to go for the engagement. Zozo's doing what it can, juggling these units back, and the ling count isn't actually that high. And, I mean, that wasn't a bad trade for Zozo, whittling the ling count a little bit. Still, it maintains an army supply lead. Stalkers are cutting back as well as it can. The Prism can juggle some of those Stalkers, but it's not saving them all. The Immortal's now going to take a lot of damage. Stalkers are still shooting away. Will the Immortal be saved? The answer is yes, because Caninana changes the math and says, I can actually not take that fight. The Zerg is going to have 1/1 upgrades done soon enough. Caninana's got Zozo's got +1. Shields are about to, or researching too. We've got a Twilight Council popping out for Zozo, which is cool to see. A bit of a tech advancement potentially for Blink, who knows? As this Protoss army does grow and grow, Caninana's mining is being disrupted a bit. Zozo's attack is coming on in here, killing off lots of drones. They can't hide because of that observer presence. Zozo's backed into a little bit of a corner. Caninana is surging down, but then says it cannot take that fight. And let's see, lings are coming on in once more. They are getting a nice wraparound on a lot of these Protoss units. Caninana is committing to this fight and actually killing off most of this Protoss force, it seems. Zozo's Prism's micro is always interesting. It seems it sometimes leaves units to die unnecessarily, as we're seeing right now as it just unloads those 4 units and heads back home. Now, Zozo did kill off one of Caninana's base, but the Zerg does have another one about to pop up, and all of a sudden the Protoss bot is on the defensive, so those probes better ready up for the fight as the Lings of Caninana are coming forward. It's up to 50 Lings once more surrounding these Stalkers and killing them off, no problem. 7 Stalkers are being made at a time for Zozo. We do have probes fighting at the 3rd, probes fighting at the 4th, although a lot of them must have died at that 4th base really quickly thanks to those +1 Lings. Caninana may be repulsed for now, but that battery overcharge, I mean, it is off cooldown, so those probes, they can still potentially be saved, although lots of them are dying, so Caninana getting some counter damage in. The Protoss bot doesn't really have an economic lead anymore. There's not a lot going for Zozo right now, although Blink is on the way, so who knows, maybe that'll help out avoiding being surrounded by Lings if the Stalkers can just blink away. But now we're seeing more Lings coming forward for Caninana. There is only 40 on the map as the Zerg is now transitioning into Infestors, into, well, just getting tons and tons of upgrades, but it is firing up a lot more Lings behind this, so Zozo's attack does not seem to be working at the minute. I'm excited to see if Blink will change things, as the Protoss bot just makes 8 Stalkers at a time. With these unupgraded gateways, it's even chrono boosting out +2 attack. So, I mean, the Protoss bot is still upgrading its army a little bit. Blink isn't too far away from completing, so that may help out. Lings are getting a very nice surround. How many Stalkers have died this game? Can we get a like for every dead Stalker? And, I mean, they're still just kiting back. Now they can start to blink away, which really may improve their chances of surviving, and a neural parasite catches one of the immortals. Stalkers are just microing back as well as they can. The probes are like, oh man, I'm not paid enough for this, as they're pulled off the line once more. Stalkers are just fanning out an incredible distance. Fungal growth caught some of the Stalkers and some of the probes, but Zozo holds on for now. It's got a decent Stalker count, 18. +2 attack is on the way. Caninana has got almost 100 Lings, and it will have 100 Lings in a moment, though, so that's quite concerning. The Zerg bot, I mean, as I said, it had that slow economic start, but now it's got all the money in the world, taking all the bases. Zozo has yet to get up a 5th base. Looks like it may have been attempting to do that. It's just never materialized. Zozo's moving out, gonna be going for an attack. Caninana has got so many Lings to shut this down. The 120 Lings out on the map. Zozo is collapsing on top of this base once more, killing some of the Lings that were in the corner. Caninana really needs to pull the force together to deal with this. Stalkers and Immortals are going to be able to kill off this base. Creep is being cleaned on up. Caninana's approaching maxed out on just Lings. I love the fact that the bot author is like, yeah, if there's just Stalkers, just keep making Lings. Now the Stalkers have got a bit of a nice choke point, and they're actually coming on in here, going to be cleaning out this base. I hope we're not going to be having a situation where Caninana doesn't take the fight when it really needs to take the engagement. We have seen this happen with this Zerg bot in the past, in which the Lings kind of just repeatedly run away. And yeah, this is actually looking quite concerning. The fact that the Lings haven't pulled the trigger yet, they decide to go in, then they go out, and the attack isn't happening. Oh man, don't do this to me, Caninana. You had won this game pretty much, and now the Zerg bot is all of a sudden getting a little bit afraid of taking this engagement. It's now sacrificed 3 bases, about to lose a 4th base potentially to this, when it's got 2 Lings with adrenal glands against just Stalkers. And yeah, oh dear. This is unfortunate that this is happening this game. As, yeah, Caninana has got more army supply than its opponent. It's got, yeah, I mean, it catches 1 immortal. It's got more supply than its opponent, so I'm not really sure why it wouldn't take this fight. As, yeah, there really isn't a reason not to. The Lings are just running away. Neural Parasite catches 1 immortal. The rest of the Lings, they're not grouping up with this. I don't know if they're just being distracted or what. The Protoss bot has pretty much cleaned out the Zerg's main base. Caninana fires up another lair. It's got a spawning pool still alive for now. But yeah, it's just going to abandon this location, and I don't know what it is in this situation, why this happens with Caninana. It's been knocked down to 20 drones. It's still got an army that could crush what this Protoss has. But it, I mean, Zozo right now is pretty much the definition of just keep trying the same tactic, and maybe your opponent will bug out. Caninana finally pulls the trigger on a bit of a nasty choke point, though. Lings are still very good against Stalkers, and they are going to attack on it. I don't know what finally made these Lings decide to take this fight. Cool enough, some of the Stalkers actually blinked to the low ground for Zozo, but we saw how fast that Protoss army just got nuked by all those Lings. And man, oh man, now Caninana can go for blood on the other side of the map. And I don't know if Probes can stand up to 3 Lings with Adrenal Glands. They were doing pretty well for themselves in the early game, but I think that may have ended at this point. Battery overcharge gets popped, however, then the battery gets unpowered. Stalkers are kiting at the natural. I'm glad to see Caninana got over its stage fright. Now all of a sudden, those like 60 workers that Caninana lost, it just killed like 60 of Zozo's workers. The Stalkers and Immortals are still trying their thing. They've got a bit of a nice choke point in the main base. Lots of firing potential, but the problem is there is still 100 Lings out for Caninana. Zozo, its third's been ransacked, the fourth, the natural, the fifth base isn't mining at all. The Protoss bot is down to 5 workers. And okay, what a comeback story for Caninana. I was so worried that it was just gonna like sit around until it died, but in the end, the bot seems to have some redundancy to overcome that. I know the bot author did comment on why that happened in a previous match, and they kind of addressed it. It seems they may have actually addressed that to a point. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that. But yeah, look, I mean, Zozo definitely had potential to win this game. I do wonder if it will ever get potentially a unit composition upgrade. I know I've cast it against Caninana a few times, but I do think that it could potentially benefit from some Zealots, some Adepts, something like that. Or who knows? Maybe it is just a one-off thing that this just happens versus Caninana. I'll have to cast Zozo against some other Zerg bots to see how that plays out. But Caninana's bot author really has the right idea, because Zozo just builds Stalkers and Immortals, so just make Lings. It's a fairly easy catch for a Zerg bot to handle that. I do like Zozo. I think it has got some improvements as time has gone on, though. Getting up to 5 bases was cool to see, but in the end, that is going to be that for this one, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoyed this match, let's see how many Stalkers died. 119 Stalkers died. I don't know if we'll hit 119 likes on this video, but if we could, that would be amazing. So click that like button, leave a comment down below saying more bots if you want to see more of these bot matches, as that does help out with the YouTube algorithm. And consider becoming a YouTube member if you want to support the channel. You can help me buy a coffee every now and then. Not that I actually buy coffee, I make it at home. I'm too cheap for that. Now, yeah, let's just watch as Caninana is going to just take its time killing everything. A Corruptor's like, oh, okay, I'm the janitor. Let's clean up this Protoss base. That's exactly what it's gonna do. Puke all over that base. Lings are cleaning everything up. And that is gonna be that, as the last of these buildings get killed off. Ling's the real MVP this match. GG.